What's up, guys? It's casual, whatever day it is. I'm tired of fucking wearing button-up t-shirts, so we're going t-shirt. Just a t-shirt. Just a t-shirt. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about something very important, probably the first thing you should be doing when you're worried about your financial health, and that is keeping track of what you spend and making a budget. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you don't need a budget. Those people are wizards, and you shouldn't listen to them because they practice black magic. If you want to make sure that you're keeping track of your money, you got to keep track of your money. I don't think I should need to say that, but a lot of people don't have budgets, and in this video, we're gonna go over how to do that. But unless you want to walk around with pen and paper, unless you want to walk around with some pens and some paper, you want to do this shit online because we're millennials and we do everything digitally. So I'm going to show you a really good website that helps you keep track of your money. So let's go right into that. Here we got mint.com, and this website's really helpful because it helps you basically keep track of your financial health. So on the left here, you can see the amount of cash you have, the amount of debt you have in credit cards, your loans, your investments, and then all of the accounts you have linked. So the way that it works is that you just go to any account, either a checking account or a savings account or a brokerage account, and you link them all to mint.com. And what Mint does is it takes it all together for you, and it kind of gives you trends, data, and it gives you all of your transactions. And on top of that, it can also give you your credit score, which if you've seen any of my other videos, you know is a very good thing to keep track of. I really do recommend that you get a Mint account, you hook up all of your financial accounts to it, and it'll help you keep track of everything that you have going on. But the most important feature, and the feature that we're gonna need it for today, is the fact that it keeps track of your transactions for you. So if you go over to this tab, you can see my shitty spending habits. So if we ignore the fact that I waste a lot of money on things, we can look at the fact that it keeps track of everything for you. You don't need pen and paper anymore, you got mint.com. So mint.com is really good. As you can see, it'll tell you what category the spending is in, and it'll tell you where the spending was at, the date, and how much you spent. And then with this, you can transfer it manually to your spreadsheet. Now, mint.com does have their own budget, but for some reason it just doesn't work well for me. It either miscategorizes things, or it lists my investments as spending, or it thinks that I've just like taken $700 out of my account when I've really just moved it from one account to the other. So I think Mint is really good for keeping track of transactions and maybe investments and wealth over the long run. But I think the budgeting should be done on your own spreadsheet, and I'm going to show you the spreadsheet that I made, and that's also in the description that you can download and use yourself. It took a while to make it because I made it way too complicated, but it's still pretty good. So yeah, this is mint.com. Get the account, sign up all your other accounts. I think you guys will really like it. Yeah, I don't know. One of the really cool features though is that it does track your bills for you, which is pretty good. So if you don't pay your bills on time, mint.com help you out. Anyways, let's go to my spreadsheet. So here we are with this spreadsheet that I've made, and like I said, I made it a little bit too complicated, but let's look over the basics. So here I have any of the brackets that you might be in. So if you are single, the head of a household, jointly married, or separately married, so married but filing in separate tax brackets, you can go here and select which one you are, click it, say get brackets, and it'll show you your tax brackets. So basically, up to this percent, or up to this amount of money, you're taxed at this percentage, up to this amount of money, you're taxed at this percentage, et cetera, et cetera. If you guys want me to explain this more in detail, I can in a tax video, but that's a whole entire video by itself. So then what you do is you come over here and you put in your salary, and then you put in the amount that you put into your 401k or any tax deductible accounts, meaning that the money gets taken out of your taxable income before you get your taxes done. And then you put in your city or your state tax because that will depend on location. And then you can estimate your tax burden, and then it'll give you how much you make monthly. Now, this will be a little bit off because you might have different withholdings on your W-4. Your company might take out a little bit more for certain benefits. Like my company takes out more because I have healthcare with my company. This is really useful if you don't know exactly how much your company's gonna take out and you're trying to make a budget for a new job. But if you know your monthly payments, then just go ahead and put them in here. So I'm gonna Control Z back to what I had before. Just kidding, no I'm not. Good thing I have it memorized because I'm vain and I know my monthly payments by hand. So this is the tax portion. This is the portion that I probably shouldn't have made because you can find all of this information online, but I do it for you guys. So, hit that like button, subscribe. Y'all are awesome. Anyways, so we're gonna go down here and we're gonna do the budget calculator. We're gonna take our monthly income that we have, and then we're going to break it down into categories. So the first category is saving. Now, the reason this is the first category is because you should always be saving money above everything else. And I know this sounds counterintuitive. You're gonna be like, I have bills to pay. I gotta buy food, I gotta buy tickets to that new concert. I understand, but unless you make saving a priority, then it won't happen. If you save first and then you're forced to find a way to make more money or make ends meet after you've saved, you'll find it a lot easier to actually save money. And if you're in a position where you're struggling to save money, that means you need to save the most because you need to get out of the position you're in. You need to make investments. You need to make your money work for you so you're not living paycheck to paycheck anymore. So always save first, pay yourself before you pay other people is the principle. So that's the first category. Sorry for the rant. The second category is fixed expenses. Now these expenses are usually the biggest ones. So something like housing, car payments, car insurance, utilities. These expenses are fixed. And the reason it's in quotes is because sure, you can't change these in the next couple of weeks, but these are things that you should be focusing on changing to reduce. So either get roommates, buy a house and rent out a portion of it. It's called house hacking. Can make a video on that. There's a lot of ways to reduce your rent, and you should always focus on reducing your rent to a point where you're comfortable living where you're living, but also getting the minimum amount of payments every month, because this is just sucking you dry because these payments are every month and they're usually what constitutes the most of your payments. Like for me, it's 35% of my monthly payments go to rent. And I pay an absurd amount of money, and the only reason I ever did this was because I came to a new city and I did not know what the hell I was doing. Never pay this much for rent anywhere you go. This is really dumb. Don't do this. So yeah, so under fixed expenses, it has all the categories, and you can switch these categories out for something that you think is more appropriate. It's pretty easy. And then all of these categories get added up into this fixed expenses category. So my fixed expenses are 35% of my total monthly payments. Next are my needs. So you've got things like groceries, gas, health insurance, pet insurance, internet, debt repayments if you have any. Again, you can change out these categories for whatever you want. Next up is wants. So under wants, you got things like restaurants, entertainment, electronics, websites, travel, fitness, things you don't really need, but things that kind of make your life worth living. The media and a lot of major platforms will have you believe that this is where most of your money is spent, but I think I live pretty loosely with my wants, and it's only an 8% of my income. And as you can see, most of your income comes out of your fixed expenses. So really, don't worry too much about what's in this category. Try to save a little bit. Don't spend too much on restaurants and stuff like that. Don't spend too much on like partying and like tickets and stuff. If this is like 15 to 20% of your income, lower it down. But realistically, this isn't gonna be too much of your income. And that's something people get wrong all the time. They're like, I need to cut back on things that I like. No, you need to cut back on the big things that you're not thinking about. Your fixed expenses. Also, these are the categories that kind of affect my life, but if you ever wanna add any categories to the sheet, all you gotta do is click here, up top in the Excel, there's gonna be a little formula box, and then you can just drag down. You can just drag down and add whatever you want. And then it'll add this summation up top. I would recommend that every weekend, so like every Sunday, I'll go to mint.com, I'll check out my transactions and I'll add them all up, and then I'll fill in these categories to the right here. And then these categories will say how much money I have left or how much percentage I have left of the total amount of budget that I've made for that month. So you can see here, I was reckless and I want to go see my family for Christmas. So I spent about 800% more than I should have on travel. That'll even out the next couple of months because I usually don't pay for travel. I usually don't buy plane tickets every month, but I do have $50 here because I do live away far from my family. So I've included that $50 every month for the whole year will cover all of my expenses to anywhere that I want to go. And the same goes for, restaurants. I've spent a lot of money because I had the flu last week and I ordered a lot of Uber Eats. So that's why this is so high. I usually don't spend this much on restaurants. The big one is groceries, keeping track of your groceries. Right now I'm only at 31%. So, I feel like this sheet just really helps out, like seeing how much money you have left to spend in the month. And then the overall picture can be seen up here. So you make this much per month, you have this much of your income left out of all of these things. So when you're making your budget, you can see how much you have left to play with. Actually spent is here, and then it'll give you the amount that you've spent like percentage wise over the whole month. And then in here, it'll tell you the amount that you have left over. So I feel like if every week you update this sheet and you put down a good budget, it's gonna be easier for you to save because we're prioritizing saving. We're seeing what's really costing us the most money, and we're seeing that cutting out the coffee that you buy 3 times a week or that one meal that you have with friends isn't what's killing you. It's the fact that maybe you're spending too much on the really big ticket items and you're not thinking about it because they're fixed, right? So finding creative ways to lower those is probably the best way to go to save more money. So this is really the beginning of amassing wealth and kind of getting financially independent, is tracking your spending and prioritizing saving. And once you do that, you're gonna realize that you have some money left over, and then you can start really getting into the meat and potatoes of my videos. You can really start getting into investing, finding the best ways to earn returns on your money. And then it really starts to become fun because you know that month to month you're gonna have enough money, you've budgeted for it, and you've created an excess for yourself. And now that money that you're investing isn't as stressful because you don't need it to live. You've already created a method for making sure that you can get by month to month with room to spare. That being said, before you make investments, obviously have a little bit of a nest egg. I like to keep 3 to 6 months of expenses. It really depends on your career choice. If you're in a career where you can get rehired super quickly, 3 to 6 months is fine. If you're in a field where it takes a little bit more work to get rehired, so maybe it'll take you on average 4 to 5 months, maybe have like 8 to 10 months of expenses because you know for sure that you're gonna have some point where things go wrong and you don't get hired as quickly as possible. So always have a little bit of a bankroll for monthly expenses, anywhere from 4 to 10 months, you know, depending on where you're at. And then that extra money that you've been saving using this method, then you can start putting it into investments. Yeah, I really do think that this is 101. This is stuff that should be teaching in high school, and that's why I'm teaching you right now, so that you can better yourself and you can make sure that you're in a good financial position for no matter what you're doing in life. But yeah, besides that, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like. It really does help the YouTube algorithm. When you like, it lets them know that you're interacting with my video and that my video like wants to be seen by people, so it really helps me out. And also, if you comment down below, YouTube uses those comments to see that you're interacting with my video, and it's the same thing as hitting the like button, if not more. When you comment, it shows YouTube that you're really liking my stuff. So I really appreciate if you comment. And also remember, if you subscribe, I would love it. Making more videos. Not consistently every week like I planned because it's a bit stressful, but I've been making videos as quickly as I can, you know, try to teach you guys as much as possible. Anyways, I really do appreciate that you guys are watching all the way to the end. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.